Yo, what up? Kipto here. This is the first edition of kiptoecrits. You guys sent in all of your artwork to kiptoecrits@gmail.com, and now I'm gonna review it, possibly do some paintovers. We're gonna learn how to make our stuff better, more impactful, all that good stuff. You know, we're just gonna jump right into it. So let's check out the first ones from my patrons who are first in line. They got that fast pass. So let's check out numero uno, Kiera. 2 years ago, I picked up spray painting during the summer, and I felt like doing art again is something that I was missing. All right, we got some spray paint art here. You know, I actually used to do these like space paintings. That was like a good chunk of my spray painting learning process, was doing these little space paintings. So that's cool that you're doing them too. Not to make this about me, but I remember I did these in my second to last day of high school. I set up a booth outside in the parking lot, and I told everyone in class and everyone in the hallways, and made a Facebook event and all that stuff. And I had these spray paintings for like selling for like 10 or 15 bucks a piece. And I had tons of people come out, and I was out there like in the hot sun, and the spray paint was drying faster than I could manipulate it. And I was like stressing out, but I had all these orders lining up, and I ended up making like $200 or $300 within 3 hours after school one day. And it was pretty wild for a high schooler. For these ones, it's more of like a live performance, and I feel like you could make some money doing this if you really enjoy doing these space paintings. The whole part of it is like the live thing, because they're really fast and quick. And if you get down like a few different ideas that you can like replicate, then you'll be able to bang them out really fast, and people are like itching to buy some fast, cheap art. These look really good. I don't have many critiques for these. And then we got her digital art here. These are really cool. This is kind of weird. They're like Rugrats dripping on acid or something. And it looks like, I mean, there's not much to critique here, because it looks like you're still experimenting and figuring out what you want. You know, it's good that you're making studies of these kind of things so you can learn from them and then borrow and then like develop into your own style. And I like this. This is pretty cool. It reminds me of your spray painting up here. I feel like you could have made the composition a little bit more dynamic. It feels very flat. There's a whole lot of negative space up here, which is like bothering me. And I'm not sure what the message or the theme is here, other than maybe surrealism. But yeah, I'd say do a couple more of these just to flesh out the idea more, and then figure out which one works the best. That would be my next move. Keep it up. Good job. Thanks for sending your work. I'm going to put this here so my mic goes right here. Hopefully it gets a little better sound quality. I can talk right into it. Alright, number 2, AJ. He's also a Patreon supporter. I've always wondered how you decide the colors you use. I really like the composition in this piece, yet I feel something's missing. Alright, let's check it out. Whoa! That is sick! Okay, I'm gonna do a quick paint over on this one. Okay, first thing I noticed is your tiger head is a little lopsided here. This eyeball, if we do a line, a guide, this eyeball is like way down here. We push that up in line and make it a little bit bigger. It kind of matches the other one a little bit more. And everything's just a little bit kind of skewed. Your jaw's kind of going like this. If we take it and just straighten it out a little bit, that looks nice. Also, the anatomy of the tiger might be a little bit off here. So if we take this, we kind of bring it up and bring these in here like this. Bring the nose out a little bit more. These things come out way too far. Those kind of meaty parts here with the, what are those called? The whiskers? And that way, instead of having it flatten out like this, or the snout is kind of flattened, it brings it out this way to the front a little bit more. And you take these and you kind of wrap them around this way like this, and bring it towards the back like that, instead of just going straight out. That way you kind of create a little bit more space. I like to do that with the values too. So the top of the snout here, the end of the snout, will have a highlight. Parts of the brow here will have a highlight. And then we'll make this a little bit darker. It's a little bit more darker on the eyes. And then tigers have this really cool white patch around their eyes that go up like this. So now you draw a lot of attention to the eyes. I'm just doing a quick pass here. It's not perfect, but some guidelines. Whoops. Looks a little crazy now. But you get the idea. A little bit more intense. These are coming up too much, I think. The whites. So now we have these two triangles coming in that draw your eye in like this, and then create a bigger triangle like that. And then there's this triangle here, and now you're just full of shapes, right? bam, box on top of it. It's a little house. You make a little chimney, smoke, use a window. Be conscious of shape design, especially when you're doing a symmetrical one like this. Ears are a little bit tricky too. I want to make sure there's like, that line from the outside to the inside. A little bit coming up like this. This is the outside of the ear, and then the inside fur coming out like that. And it really shows the ear turning, and it has the inside flap and an outside flap. Your owl is a bit skewed too. This is the middle of the piece. The owl is a little bit off. You kind of skew them this way, like that. Octopus looks really cool. I like how you're trying to add the contour lines in the shade, in the highlights and the shadows here, which really defines the form a lot better and makes it look like it has form and shape to it. And I love how the tentacles come down here into snakes. Now just be careful about having too much detail in these parts if they're not essential. And I would take these highlights and smoosh them together. So then you have one kind of stronger highlight going down the belly, and then maybe like lose these ones a bit. So you have more of like a distinct shape rather than everything has one highlight line and one shadow line, because it gets a little bit too much information for a small area. From far away, you can see how the snake bends and moves. And you can do a little bit more highlight work on the snake's head here so it pops out a little bit more. And same goes with these tentacles, right? Just apply the same technique. This is mostly just what I like to do, but I would like to mix some of the orange in the other animals here. So like maybe the octopus has like orange suckers, whatever these called, suction cups. So then you're like tying the piece together. Maybe these guys have an orange eye or a yellow, like that. Here's before, after, before, and after. Just some quick fixes, and then keep playing with it, and I think you got it. Thank you, AJ, for sending in your work, and thanks for being a patron. Alright, number 3, SoArt. He is also a patron, first in line with the Fast Pass. He sent me 4 images. When I was 15, I did graffiti, stopped at 20, now I'm 37, and I'm painting again. Let's check it out. Oh wow, very cool. I would just say practice your eyes, making nice circles, nice clean circles with your eyes here. And I like the painterly quality to it. That's really cool. And I would try and get more definition on the beak here. Here's his other piece on a wall. Very cool. I can't tell if it's the lighting or what. I feel like I'd pump up the values in here. I feel like I need some more blacks in here. And I like how you have these, like, this energetic way of painting. It's really cool, but I feel like it almost flattens it out a little bit. I'd like to see it used more sparingly. I like this. It reminds me of that owl piece he did on the wall. It has a nice painterly, chunky quality to it, which I'm a big fan of. I like the expression it has on the face here. That's really cool. A little bit of a smirk, kind of. I'm not sure like what's going on down here in this section, if that's part of the body or if he's like coming out of the woods or something. I'm not exactly sure where the head stops and starts and where the body begins, but very, very, very cool work. Just keep practicing and you'll be on your way. Thanks for being a patron. Alright, the 4th Patreon member we got here is Kanan Burchett. Thanks for signing up for my Patreon. Here we go. He's a stencil artist. Whoa. Love it, man. I wonder how big this is. I like the expression and I like the value breakdowns you have here. And I might suggest cleaning up the stencils, but that might be your thing, is like the rough, dirty edges here. And I think it almost kind of works. It creates like a vibration on the piece. I like how you chose your values properly, and I feel like it could have been nice to add white dots in her eyes, almost like highlights. So then you have a nice triangle with the teeth and the white dots and the eyes. That way it draws your attention even more, and it brings a little bit more life and pop to her eyeballs. If you add just an highlight of 2 white dots. My one thing I would suggest here is, I don't know what's going on with her arm. Maybe she had tattoos, and I don't want to assume, but I'm guessing you put this into a program that split it up into these tones, and then you didn't bother to like adjust or anything. I don't want to assume, but I'm just guessing that's kind of what happened, because over here there's a whole bunch of random shapes, and it also leads you right off the page here. And that's just a bit distracting for me. If her arm was dropped down to her side a little bit more, it would really center the figure and keep her in the frame rather than having the arm jut us right off the page onto the next one. And I would clean up these designs here and just have it like a nice clean arm, or if there is a design, make it look like a design. That would be my suggestion for these. Like you can tell down here, like flower tattoos or something. I would continue that kind of design on her arm if that's the case. Cool, man. Keep it up. Love the stencils. Looking spicy. All right, now I'm going to go down the line from first email to last email, and we'll separate it out into a few episodes, and we'll get as many done as we can today. So here we go. This is Tobias Berman. He said, "Hello, Kipto. I'm a huge fan of your work. Here's a digital drawing I've been working on. I'd love to get some critique." Here we go. The anticipation is killing me. Whoa! Holy cow, this is really cool. I can do some paint overs on this for sure. Okay, cool. I love the storytelling we got here. It almost looks like a video game, like we're about to start playing and like we're about to enter the world here. I love the composition. First thing I noticed though, this thing right here is competing with the main staff. And I don't want that. I want our character to be his own thing. I don't want any disruptions. I'm going to take this chunk here. I'm either going to move it over or have it pointing at our guy. I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it like that. I'm going to have it like over there. I'm going to put it over here. I feel like you kind of want our attention to be like, it flows in this way, we hop on this character, and then we kind of drift over here to the clouds and we see this waterfall here. And then the rocks kind of bring us back. So I love the composition, but I feel like this thing is really screwing me up. Unless that's an important detail, which I don't think it is. So that's why I'm moving it over here to help push our eyes back over here where you want it to be anyways. And so I am gonna tuck that in like that. Give it some nice grass. I'm gonna paint over this one. Oh yeah, that's better. Except it's kind of on a tangent with this hill. So I'm either gonna kill these hills back here, make them a little less prominent, slow it down a little bit over here, kill the saturation. And I think we can add a little bit to this. Maybe from behind the tree is maybe it's like this stone temple that's kind of broken and stuff. Kind of looks like a penis. Whatever, I'm gonna leave it for now. The next thing I noticed is there's not much atmospheric distortion. There's not much atmospheric perspective. There is a little bit up here. Up here is nice with these mountains kind of disappearing with the atmosphere, but you need it to happen everywhere, not just the mountains. Over here too, especially with these trees here. Again, it's kind of competing with our main character here, this tree right here. So I would kind of just take all of this, push it back. So I'm just adding some blue on here, really separate it a little bit more. And then maybe what we do, we just give our character a little bit more of a shadow here so he really stands out. And I don't know, where's the light coming from? To the right? From the right? So let's really emphasize that. There's only one light source, it looks like. It's from the sun. Let's really get a nice freaking middle shadow. I like your reflected light over here. That's really nice. Let's get some of that on the shield. And I really want a nice highlight on the shield here, because the only white so far is that waterfall or the clouds. And I want a little bit of highlights on our character here so it stands out a little bit more. Here's before, here's after, here's before, here's after. So a little bit more atmosphere, a little more composition and contrast in the character, and you're on your way. Thanks for sending your work. Good luck. Alright, next up is B&E God. We got Panda Bear smoking a little pipe here. That's cute. I like that. Ooh, I know my girlfriend would love this piece. She's all about those third eyes and the wolves. I like this. I like all the different touches you have here, how it's breaking apart, and you have the little butterfly up here, and everything's kind of falling apart, and you have these flowers growing out of the fingers. That's really cool. I'd continue with this kind of stuff. Very surrealistic and very conceptual. I like that. Nice work, man. Next up is Gerson Rodriguez. He's got this cool caricature of this guy. Looks like a fighter or something. I like the exaggeration you got here. That's really cool. I'm not sure who this is. I definitely wouldn't want to mess with this guy on a Friday night, that's for sure. I think my favorite part is the ears. I love how you did the ears, how they kind of come in and out. You see that nice dimension there. And his expression is very cool. It's almost like he's ain't got time for this, you know? I like that. Cool work, man. All right, next up we got You in Blue. I'm a junior in college heading into my senior year as an illustration major. Not sure where I want to go in terms of career. I get that. I was in the same boat. Let's check out your work. Okay, wow, this is freaking sick. This is really cool, man. I love the composition. It tells a great story. Let's put the golden ratio on this bad boy. I kind of want to see something here. Spin this bad boy. Yeah, see, I'd love for this guy to be like right here. That would make the dragon look even bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this a little bit and I'm just going to kind of squeeze them down here, right? So then we really feeds in your composition. You start up here, go past the dragon's head, come into these rocks here. You already have it lined up, the rocks and the pathway, and then up to this guy. And it's a nice, perfect golden ratio moment there. And we'll just paint over this a little bit. And it really shows how big the dragon is when he's a little bit further down there. Turn that off. Yeah, that's nice. Cool, man. Good work. Can't wait to see what you do with it. Alright, his next piece is the angel that's falling. Wow, that's neat, man. I like the concept. I just feel like everything's a little bit too light, but if we just take the values and push them a little bit more, I think that would really increase the dynamic of the piece. See that dark blue, it looks like he's falling from grace into some sort of abyss. And I think that just helps a lot with the image. It's way blown out here. And this kind of really makes more of an impact. Alright, next guy we have Kyle L. He's a sculptor and he wants my opinion on his newest project. He wants this thing where you step inside and you look up and there's like similar reflecting lights to like the aurora lights. He wants it to represent his mental health issues of the past and allow those still facing these challenges a safe space in a public setting to take a breath and recognize how beautiful things can really be if you give it a chance. I like that. How I could perhaps add color to my sculpture, what you suggest. No, I don't think it needs color. The only color that it needs is on the inside. That's the whole point. I think to add the black on the outside is the point of this kind of dark void in your mental health. And we step inside and you see the beauty of it. You got the right idea. Just keep going and keep pushing forward. I'd love to see it when it's done. All right, next up we got Agamukar, and here's some of his digital work. We got a cool character here. Wow, look at that. Tushy, oh my god. I see you. The only thing I would suggest with this right off the bat is I feel like the background is a little bit distracting. Alright, so I cut out your character. What I do with the background is I would either have some sort of design element to complement the character, or I would, not have this stuff down here. You wanna ground the character a little bit so they're not floating like that. You have a bit of maybe like a line here where she's like in a room kind of, and you can keep it flowy like this. Maybe add like a circle here and give it some kind of shape language here, just so the background has a little bit of more purpose. Or maybe if you're doing a full character concept, just leave it white. And also this is kind of strange here. It's like coming at us, I can tell, but I feel like it'd be more impactful if it was just down like this so you can see that weapon. She's got two crazy weapons. Because that perspective is really wonk. And I know what you're going for, but I feel like it'd be better if it was just down like that. And yeah, I like this, how it has this kind of S to it with the body language. It's really nice. And of course, these are quite nice too. Hey, what's up, Kipto? My name is Eli. This was my first time doing an abstract painting and painting on canvas. Whoa, that is cool, man. I love it. I've been getting into abstract myself and taking more of a liking and more of like a studying eye for abstract. I feel like abstract is even harder and more difficult and challenging than representational and narrative works, and I have a lot of respect for people who make really great abstract works. I like this, how it has this like swooping kind of swirling motion to it, and you have all these kind of like ends that are pointing basically towards the center here, and it's almost like a vortex that's created here. But in the middle, it kind of ping-pongs back and forth, so your eye never really can rest, which is maybe the point of this, and it kind of keeps you ingrained in this. It's almost like in a trance, and I love how and also the white negative space you have in there. The white really makes it come alive and vibrate. Great work, man. I don't have really much to critique about it. I love it. This is from Elise Claremont. I'm 15. My first mural I've ever done. Aw, little baby Yoda. Little Yodster. First mural ever done. Great work. Next time maybe add more texture. He seems like a kind of like a wrinkly creature. He is a baby, so that might do something. But yeah, keep practicing. Keep it up. This is from Nubik. Alright, let's check it out. Whoa, cool, man. Violent. I like it. For this one, the easiest way to make this more impactful would be just to show the sword coming out the other side. If we just do a quick katana coming out the side, the back here, and then it really shows more emotion. Like, man, he really just stabbed himself. I'd really pump up the red here, so I'd go back. I know this is probably watercolor, so I'd go back with one more pass of watercolor and really just hit it. Really just go for it. And I'd do like splatters like this, you know? Impact. Make it nasty. Cool work, man. Thanks for sending it in. Alright, next up we have Rob Hebner. Love your videos. Here's some of my more recent designs I've made. Whoa, cool. I like that. Okay, he's got the moon and the mountains and the eye there. That's cool. I'd just be careful about the eye sockets here. The rest of your skull is like pretty kind of straight. And then the eye sockets are like crazy kind of wonky tree branches. And the eyes should be a little bit more linear and less crazy. But yeah, I love that idea. I love the concept. That'd be cool on like a shirt or something. I'd just be careful about the way you shade it with the pen, with the cross hatching. It really kind of flattens it out when you do it like that. Just make sure you're going with the contour of the skull, so your lines are wrapping around the back there, and it would really create a more like dimensional space there. Since like your eyes here have the cross hatching, and then this back of the skull has the cross hatching, it really it looks like they're on the same plane, and it really flattens everything out. That's my only thing I'd say for this one. Yeah, cool work, man. Keep it up. Next we have Martin Garcia Sandoval from Guadalajara, Mexico. Look at this. Wow, that's super cool, man. I wish it was a little bit better quality so I could see a little bit more of the details, but I love the geisha, right? That's a geisha. The elephant from Indian folklore. Elephants with arms. Ganesha. That was close. Geisha is Japanese. Okay, this is a Ganesha. I love the color palette on this. It's almost like a neon like rock poster. He's got all these different items in his hands and his big belly, and I like how the trunk is twisting around like that. And I really like this red pattern you have on the trunk. How it almost looks like tiger stripes going down the trunk there. That's really, really neat. Yeah, strong piece, man. Love it. Gracias por enviarme tu arte. Next up, we got John Brock. Recent subscriber. Wasted so much time binge watching all your videos. Hey, man, that's not time wasted. My style is dark surrealism. Alright, let's check it out. Whoa. Dude. Hell yeah, that is sick. Dude, I love his staff with like the mouth and the wings. Really cool character. And I love this like industrial house thing coming out of his hat. The only thing that throws me off is this little boy here. I feel like he could have done a better job with the face, because this character is so strong, and then I feel like this one kind of brings it down just a little bit. Maybe shrink the head a little bit so it's a little bit more square. Like, I feel like kids have a little bit more square, round kind of heads. If you shrink it down a little bit and make him look a little bit more like a little boy. Now this is freaking wild. Oh my god. Holy shit. He's got like eyeballs coming out of his arms. He's got creatures coming out of here. He's got like dead puppets over here. This lady with mouths coming out of her tits. Wow. And it's all coming out of his brain with like nooses hanging down. Crazy piece, man. I wouldn't want to see your nightmares. Love it, dude. Thanks for sending that in. All right, we got RG. He said he's a huge fan. Particular drawing was made 2 years ago when he was 11. So now he's 13 and he wants to improve. Wow, you made this when you were 11? That's really good for an 11-year-old. The thing that I am tripping up about this is the fact that these fingers are like totally cutting off this section. I'd love for this to dribble all the way down so you get to see all that down here like this. It's really cool. You get the sprinkles. And then we take these fingers and we just kind of have them more like this. There's the knuckle and here's the pinky. And maybe even this hand, this pinky's like falling off because it's ice cream and it's melting, and could even make that part of the design here. Something like that. I don't want the design to be cut off in the middle there. I want it to be like free flowing. I think this is something really cool. I feel like a little bit more of the meaty part of the hand there would help too. And then we could add some more drips coming off this part. It's not exactly right, but you get the idea. And then you kind of have this nice transition of this pink to white to blue. Cool, man. Great job for 13 years old. Keep it up. All right, next up we got Travar Washington. He sent me 3 pieces of his favorite. Whoa, cool. Nice triangle composition. I love this demon on the back here. My one suggestion would be, it looks like it was a little bit rushed. I wouldn't be afraid to slow down and take your time, especially with your pen strokes. They look a little bit haphazard in certain places. If you slowed down a bit and like focused on your strokes, I feel like that would lend the piece to a little bit more of a formed, finished look. I love the design you got here. Really cool design, and the character is really great. I just feel like in the face, you don't have to put as many lines. If you leave the face like almost with just the necessary features and leave everything else like almost blank, then it will really draw the attention to this face, and it won't be looking like everything has the same amount of focus to it. I just feel like, again, slow down with your work. But I would tackle this piece again, even try and make this background almost completely turquoise there, so then it really makes that face stand out even more. Because right now these lines are really competing with the face, and we don't want that. Nice work, man. Thanks for sending it in. All right, next up we have Dovil, an animation student from Lithuania. Recently got into character design, and I love the process of creating something new. Hell yeah. Let's check it out. Whoa. I love this character. And she did a turnaround and a run cycle. Man, these look really pro. The character design is really great. This one definitely stands out as the weaker of these ones. These ones are very well done. And I love how, it's spinning really fast, but I love how you have the big flowers up top, kind of like Mickey Mouse ears, and then that like gem in the chest that kind of creates a nice triangle like this of the character. And then that spine, where you have this spine with like the branches coming up to the neck there. That's a really cool little detail there. What I suggest for this one, you want to be very careful about silhouettes. So I really want to take this arm, just really simply put the joint right at the shoulder, and I just want to move this away from the body, and then we're going to paint back over this. So that way we're separated from the body, and then we have 2 very clear arms, twisting her body one way and running the other way. And also this head with the eyes don't match up. Looks like right here is about the center line, and then here. And if we were to match up the eyes, and they have to be the same shape too. So right, I feel like it would be a little bit more like that. This one would probably even be a little bit bigger like that. So if we go back under here, we can paint this and get the eyes in the correct place like that. So that's a little bit better. Let's go back to your character's turnaround. What do the eyes look like? So you got big black circles around the eyes with looks like little dots like flies or something. And I want to emphasize that a little bit more here. I want to take kind of like when tigers have an outline of their eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. Just get a bit of a design on these things. Almost like cat eyes or something. That would really draw more attention and give it a little bit more of emotion. That's better. That looks a little better. I know this is probably a work in progress, this painting here, but I would just tighten up some of this stuff. So this flower I gotta tighten this up. Just give it a little bit more dimension, and now to punch up these a little bit too. Take that burn tool. We'll burn some of the shadows in here. We can create a nice light source. Then we can get a shadow going here. Okay, my camera died, but I just added a multiply layer to add like a shadow, so it really pops the character out a bit. This is before, this is after, and it really kind of creates those different forms and really kind of brings the character to life, pops it out, and it adds to that pose and that motion with that sunlight coming from this way. So this is what you sent me, and this is what I did. So yeah, really strong character. I can't wait to see what you do with this. Alright, next up is Kyla Rhodes. Here are two paintings I've recently done. The first is watercolor of an image I took while on a run, and the second is acrylic landscape I did for a show. Oh, nice. Very cool. One thing I would say is watch out for your cloud design. Even if it looked like this in the photo, you want to be conscious of how you're designing things in your paintings. I feel like if you just kind of morphed some of these together rather than having them be all spotted like this, it would kind of help the painting a little bit. Just morph some of them together, or a little bit different value changes for the clouds, then it will give a little bit more of atmosphere to the clouds rather than looking like chunks floating across the sky. So yeah, those are my suggestions. Keep painting. Thanks for sending it in. Next up, we got Jackson Carano. He's 14 years old from Boulder, Colorado. These look like pastels. Really nice. I like how they kind of have the rhythm of the trees here. That's really cool. I would just say pick a subject, because I feel like you need to pick, what kind of theme and what kind of vibe you're going for. It looks like he's contemplating. Maybe he's had a rough night and he's like out on the boat here trying to clear his thoughts in his head. You got the lighthouse in the background. That's nice. That purple sky is nice, and that deep purple, I like that. And you have a bit of it kind of like reflecting off in the water here. That's cool. Good job, man. Keep it up. Next up, we got Black Dynamite. Been subscribed to your channel for a long time now. Appreciate it. This piece I have attached is of a secretary bird. Beautiful, fierce animals. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Okay, cool, man. I wish you didn't cut it off on the end there. I like it, man. That's cool. I can tell you have a lot of texture in there. You're using maybe like some palette knives or something. Whoa, what the hell? The eye is really great there. Just be careful about this background. Make sure to give your backgrounds like some sort of design. Be careful of like the floating head syndrome, where it's just kind of a floating head. Be nice to have it like some sort of shape, maybe like a bust, or like have the neckline in a nice shape rather than just kind of fading off up back here. Thanks for watching. Keep it up. All right, next up is Hunter Hahn. Look at this. He said he drew this a few months before coronavirus hit. What are you predicting the future here? He's got a broken arm. Oh man, what happened to this guy? Look, he's got like a cast, and then he just decided to rip the whole thing off. He's like, I don't need this. It's taking too long to heal. And he says this one is his favorite. Oh man, he even lost an arm. Or a hand. This guy's going to town. Poor zombie. Looks like he was like smiling before. Cool, man. Thanks, Hunter. Keep it up. Alright, next up is Miguel from Medellin, Colombia. My favorite country, Colombia. I'm a mechanical engineer student, but I love to draw and doodle. Here are some of my walls in my house. Whoa! Oh my god. You're a mechanical engineer and you're making work like this? Dude, this is sick. I love this guy. Look at that. Really great caricature cartoon here. I'm not quite sure the connection here. Maybe he's a whaler. It says, just chill. I really like your designs. The whale's painted really nice. The only thing I would say is if there's supposed to be a connection here, it doesn't look like he's looking at anything. It doesn't look like he's looking at the whale over here. It looks like he's just like drifting off into space thinking about something else. Maybe that's what you wanted. Let's see what you got next. Wow, really cool. I like the kind of mix of styles you have here. It's kind of like a collage of elements here. One thing I would say is like this hand only has 4 fingers, and I know you're trying to go for like a dynamic kind of like pose with the hand here, and maybe like the pinky's blocked by the thumb, but even if it is, if you take a photo like that, you should be conscious of that and try and get all 5 fingers in there, because it looks like a weird mutant hand. Cool. Gracias, Miguel. Parcero, gracias. This one is from Marias. This one is called Creative Chaos. I tried to capture what I imagine someone looking and feeling when they are solving their existential crisis. Check it out. Whoa. My eye immediately goes to these kind of orbs down below. They look like her lungs are filled with like gaseous something from the galaxy, and she's like been breathing that in, and her hair is wild, man. She got some tears coming down. I like how there's like a bit of sadness and also a bit of like wonder and mystery and kind of excitement in this piece with the hair. I would try to work out the features a little bit better, and like her face is very triangular. She needs a bit of a jaw, and her jaw comes way down over here. If you kind of readjusted the features a little bit, or the lips maybe a little bit more fuller, and have the nose a little bit bigger, and have the jaw come down a little bit with a bit of a neck, I think that would solve the Barbie doll issue. And I do like how you have the splatter in the background for the galaxy. Keep it up, man. Thanks for standing. Okay, here we have Bilal doing spray paint art for about a year now. Let's check it out. Wow, cool. I love this peacock design. I'd be careful about your stencils here. It looks like you're getting a lot of bleedage down here. When I do stencils, I like to have like a pen that I don't care about, that I can hold down the stencil with. So when I'm spraying in that area, it doesn't lift up and you don't get the overspray and the cracks and stuff like this. And make sure you're not spraying too close to the paper, because then you're just going to get it all mucked up and it's going to start bleeding underneath. Alright, next up is Bastian from Spain. He's 15 years old. I want to start off by saying you're the one who inspired me to start doing art. I got so inspired and it has been the best decision of my life. That's freaking dope, dude. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you're going on this path, because it is so worth it. If you put in the time and effort it takes to become a true artist, the world is your oyster, man. Here I have one random drawing I chose. Critique it well. Whoa! Dude, this is a sick Hellboy. I don't have anything to say about this. Very well done. If I had one tiny critique, I would say that maybe this horn is in the wrong place. I might like scooch it down over here a little bit to match with this one. But other than that, wow, really great work. I'd love for this to be like a sticker or something. I love how this like little bit of ash falling off the cigar. Great expression. Solid work, man. Keep it up. 15 years old, wow. Okay, next up we got Carl from the Philippines. Let's see what he got here. The Nexus. Looks like he ripped off my dragon piece from the Renegades mural. Your bones here. Sounds like the dragon head was ripped clean off, but he left the bones there. That's cool. I don't know what this is for. Is it for like a poster or something? This guy here, he's way lopsided. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got 3 legs on this side and 5 legs on this side. It would be nice to have 4 and 4. That's my biggest critique. Cool, man. Keep it up. Appreciate it. Next up is Jacob Logan. He's from Australia. Been watching my videos for the past 12 months. I was outside the War Museum in London last year and I saw the drawing with no reference. Wow, that's really cool. Looks like markers. I love the expression you got there, but we can just fix up the nose real quick. So we're going to take the brow down like that. So we have a nice angle like this. And then we're going to take that down like that. This comes up. And then I think the cheek needs to come down a little bit like that. And then the nostril, the nose goes like this. We're going to get rid of that. You can have like a laugh line coming down here like this. You kind of have it on this side. Right? And there's the other nostril. We'll bring up that. And sometimes you can even kind of lose an edge, like a line here, and just do it with values like I'm doing here. And I would push back this side even more. I'd leave a triangle of light like this. They do in the movies. So the triangle of light hitting his cheek there. And then the nose still a little messed up like that. And then I put a little more emphasis on the lips here. Looks like his mouth is open. I just extend it out a little bit. And the top always has like, if we're going top lighting, top lip is always dark. And then you have a shadow under the bottom lip. I would just make these a little bit more prominent, right? And then I'd if his bottom lip is here, I do that. His mouth is kind of open a bit. And I'm doing this with no reference too. I'm just kind of going off of what I've learned from over the years. I think his eye is kind of wonk. And there's an eye fold above where your eye actually is, like that, right? And I think this is too big. Gotta make this like that. And what we can do is just have a little bit of a shadow under this eye, just to give it a bit more dimension. It's almost there. I feel like this eye is still kind of weird, but it's better. You can just add a little highlight if you have some white paint or some gouache after your markers. Just add a little white highlight in there, and it really brings it to life. And I would put an ear in here. And I like how you lost the edge here. You don't keep edges too much, and I like lost edges. All right, hope that helps. Best of luck. Thanks, Jacob. All right, next up we got Jun View. I'm a high school student that loves art and would love your feedback. I'm prepared for some critiquing. That's what I like to hear. She's got some concept art here. Very, very cool. I love her pose. She's ready for action. She's staring at you like, what you got? You got a problem? Huh, fool? Only thing I would say is her boobies are a little too high. They're like way up here. She's got like a super duper push-up bra. I would like put them down a little bit. Like if she lowered her arms, boobies usually hang like mid bicep to elbow. And I feel like hers are like a little bit up here. So I drop down the boobies a little bit. And I love the frail, or whatever you call this, on the dress. That's really nice. And I like how the pose isn't totally straight. You got a little bit of a cock to it, a tiny bit. I'd push it even more. I'd push her weight to one side like even further, so you have even more of an attitude. Yeah, I like this little detail here, that purple little cross right there. She's got one more here. I like this. Oof. Yeah, there's a lot of character in here. She's got like a little peace sign going on here. I love the pink hair with the green dress and the nice I like your pattern choice. And I love the way you do the wrinkles in your dresses here. And the subtle shift in values here to show that this is like part of the underdress is really nice too. Probably one of your most successful ones. Really like it. Great job. Alright, next up is Charles Hagen. Whoa, sick. That's cool. I love this character. He's got the Supreme here with this mouth on his shorts, like, eat me, fool. And then mouth on his backpack. I also love the background too. It's really well done. I like that subtle, like you don't notice it at first, but then when you look at it, you realize how cool it is. You got these like little subtle hills in the back, that Los Angeles vibe. And his clothes are really nice. With that Gucci scarf and his little gold teeth up here. I love it, dude. And this one, whoa, dude, these are really nice. The galaxies in these like little buns on top of her head. Like, my only qualm with this one is like it looks like it's from like a bird's eye point of view, kind of like looking down, but the rockets are like shooting straight. So like our viewpoint is skewed down this way, but the rockets are this way. So there's a bit of a mix up there. What I would do, skew the rockets, the jet streams like away at an angle so they kind of taper. I don't know, that's a tricky one. I think you're good. I think that's fine. Killer work, dude. Thanks for watching. Alright, next up, Daniel Schroeder. They're most of the time realistic pencil drawings. Let's check it out. Wow, pretty cool. I love the expression. Maybe this is a friend of yours. My main thing is you really got to bump your values way more. This is between like a 1 and a 2 value. From like 1 to 10, 10 being black. Like this is like a 1 to 2. I can't even tell exactly what's fully going on there. I can see the face, but it's so blown out. And then this one, I'd really love to see you get invest in like a nice pencil set that goes from like 2H to like 6B. And 2H is hard and 6B is soft, and the soft lead makes you get really dark lines. I'd love to see like dark around her eyes and around her lips, and get some more definition in there so you get a little bit more contrast. Good luck. Keep it up. Alright, next up we got Cloudy. Alright, he's got a mural here, looks like on a small wall. Looks very cool, and I like this down here. It kind of looks like a lava lamp. It reminds me of that. And I like your design with the face of the skin here. That's really cool. Next up, we got Tony. Would love some feedback. I've never shown anybody my art before. Oh man, well now it's been seen by a lot of people. That's really nice. That is really nice. I like it. I love how each step kind of has like a different pattern to it, and it really lends itself to this kind of nice little emblem here. Here we got a lion with a nice gem on this forehead there. That's really nice. With all these flowers. Very cool. If one thing I'd like to see these full-on black ones, I'd like to see a third one. Maybe up here. You got rule of threes. Things work great in threes. So you have two down here, maybe like a tiny one up here, just so you have a nice balance. Very cool. Thanks for sharing your work. Alright, next up we got Orlin, 16 from Switzerland. He tried to copy my wolf from the Graphyard Battle. That's cool. If you're going to do these lightning streaks like I did in my original piece, then I would do more than just one going down the middle. It's almost like it's cut in half. So if you want to have a couple more, over here or over here, I think that would balance it out a little bit more. Keep it up. Alright, here we go. Crispin, 20 years old. Let's see. Wow, cool character. What is this? Is this like a paint guy? First of all, his head there's like no neck. Instead of trying to go to the hand, you go from the hand to shoulder. And if we draw the forearm like this, right? There's the forearm. And we do bicep here. Bicep. Back of the tricep. Other arm. Oh yeah, that's better. See? You draw backwards from the hand and it helps a lot. That's a little better. Hope that helped. Cool character. Next up we got a drawing of Joker. Wow, very cool. I love the neons you got there, like the red and this kind of orangey peach. I can see you're trying to go for like an atmosphere here. That's very cool. Work on your face a little bit there. Maybe give him some eyes because maybe he's closing his eyes, but I like to see some eyeballs in there. Cool. Keep it up. All right, next up we got a couple different drawings here. Grilled cheese penguins. That's cool. I love the perspective, although it's a little wonk. Maybe they're going up a hill. That would be the only way that this works, because this looks like a worm's eye view. Unless this one is like a tiny little thing and this guy's a giant, the perspective actually needs to follow the line of the grilled cheese, unless they're going up a hill, in which in that case it works. Yeah, this is a very tricky perspective that you chose, but I like the scene going on here. Definitely really cool. I'd love to see what you got going on for the background. Maybe that would help me inform with the perspective shift here. If they were on flat ground, then the penguins would be going up this way. Well, my favorite part, this guy back here, that guy's really cool looking. He's like the freaking boss. The boss man smoking a cigar. You want my grilled cheese? You can't have my grilled cheese. Alright, next up is a 16-year-old from Argentina. Look at this snake man. Woo! That's cool. If you're trying to keep it funky, I love how you have this like distortion here. I do like how it has like this funhouse mirror effect to it. Careful about this part right here. I'd love to see the end of the tail either coming out of the other side or stopping before. Your coloring is, I think it's backwards, unless it's like glowing or something. Coloring's backwards. If we're gonna have some lighting coming from here, which looks like it is with the yellow, then all of this pink would be in shadow and this would be in the light pink. So the dark red would go down over here and the light pink would be right here. Thanks for sending in your work. Alright, next up is Noah. He's a senior in high school. And then we got a guy here talking to his colleague here. Love this robot arm. You really nailed the fingers here. I love how you can see, the depth and like the plates of his fingers with what you did here with these lines, and how it like falls back into space over around his head. You can see he's like grasping his head like this. The best part of the drawing right here. I think you can do more with his face here. The robot arm is really well done. His face falls apart a little bit. I'd love to see you tackle more with the face here and really flesh out this character, this like cyborg guy. Yeah, really cool. Okay, next up is Calypso from South Africa. And then we got some digital stuff. This is Smile. He's got like a mouth in his torso here with a paper bag over his head. I love this background design. That's very interesting. Yeah, I'd love to see more of this background design work. I think that's a really cool way to do some designs and stuff. It's like stained glass almost. Like I have some of the gold coming through here and then the blue. I'd like to see you explore that some more. All right, next up is HJ. Wow, this looks like a oil painting or an acrylic painting. Really, really nice. I like this here. This brings your eye right into where she's sitting. This expression on her face. Hands are really well painted. Got this cool medallion here and the papers. Nice technical painting, and also it carries a bit of a mood too. That's not an easy thing. Very well done. Wow, like a big fantasy mural across this whole place. Looks like they're playing like Magic the Gathering or something. Wow, really nice. You can really feel the space in this painting, how it goes back, and they have this kind of tall element in the middle there with the purple sky. Wonder how long this took to paint. Looks really great, man. I like it a lot. Next up, we got Berger Alexandre. French 3D artist. Recently stopped working in the CGI industry because I wanted to focus on my real passion, which is drawing. Holy shit. Wow, this is amazing. Oh my god. I really don't know how to make a living from my art, so you have any advice? Yeah, it's hard, man. There's a lot of different ways. I mean, looking at your art, this is, wow. This is really remarkable. Your line work is great. I can tell you love drawing. There's so much drawing in here. Wow, look at this kraken creature coming through the bottom piece. And this freaking light fish with these nasty jaws. Holy cow. Little hazard waste right there. This fish is holding his breath because you want to breathe in the hazard. There's so many little details in here. This is really great. Look at this hat on the eel. Look at this whale smoking a pipe. Wow, this shark is my favorite so far. I love how it turns. Mark on he's been through battle right there. And this crocodile is about to score a fish right here. And the surfing frog here. And then and look at this guy shooting off into there. That's freaking sick. Look at this house over here. Man, there's so much to look at. This is really awesome. I love this. Look at that. It's like a castle with this skull coming out of the rocks here. And this dragon up top. Even the sun is a character. Wow. And over here you got a dragon fighting that dragon. And there's a planet over here and a floating island and the satellite with a bee. And then you got another temple over here with a rabbit character. I love the way you colored it too. It's very like simply colored. You didn't go overkill. You kind of had the drawing as the drawing. You let the colors just kind of accented like underneath. Fantastic work. I want to buy a poster of this. Tell me where I can buy this. I'd love to buy it. Start there. Sell your work. This is drawing. I want to buy it. You can either do like G-clay prints, which are really high quality prints that cost more to produce and you sell them at a higher price point. Or you can do cheaper prints that are more like cardstock that are at a lower price point that are cheaper to produce. G-clay prints, you can do like a timed or limited edition. And that way they're more rare and you can have them as limited, which means they can also be at a higher price point. And just make more of this stuff. I'd love to see you do like a picture book, like an illustrated picture book with all these characters. It's such a wonderful world and a story in here. I think it'd do really great with like an illustrated picture book. Team up with a writer if that's difficult. So I know writing's really hard. But yeah, you're off to a great start. The business is definitely the hardest part. But I think if you try and do more of this stuff, you'll definitely be able to catch on and post on every social media account that you know of, and just try and build up a following that people can see and recognize and like have a demand for your work, because I definitely want this. Thanks, man. Great job. Hey, Kipto, what's up? Big fan here from Australia. Addis is my name. Hell yeah. Dude, whoa. Hell yeah, man. That is sick. I love how you kind of have this power line, the yellow power line, even going up through here, and then like you have it in the eye as well, outlining the parts of this bird peacock here. And your letter structure is great, and I like the little orange and blue you got in there too. The thing I that bothers me is like this texture in the back here. It's not anywhere else in the piece, and it looks kind of fuzzy and like pixelated. It doesn't really match anything else in the piece, and it kind of sticks out to me. I would leave it as a flat color like you have for the rest of the piece, and I think it would work just fine with that kind of teal color, or do like a more step gradients like you have with these oranges. Do the same thing with the blue, or make your own texture, or find like a higher res photo, because it's too fuzzy. It doesn't work for me. And I like the boxes you have in the background too. The whole piece is fire, man. Next up, we got Ahis. He's 16-year-old from Romania, Europe. Holy cow, look at this painting. My gosh, this is really, really wonderful, man. First of all, this portrait of the bird is phenomenal. The value structure is great. You have the bright whites coming in here, really like sucking in your attention here. And then it breaks apart here with these geometric shapes. And I love how you lose this edge in the back here with the purple. And like this gold orangey against the purple really makes this tonal shift really awesome. You really have a ton of space and dimension and value and color shift in this little part up here, which is the main focus. And then it brings you down, and you have these nice paint strokes here, and it breaks up with these geometric shapes. And you have like this other box here with this other bird, and it's like half realistic and then half with more shapes. It kind of breaks apart. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. I love it. Very well done. And you got an owl piece. Not as successful as the previous one. We all use photo references, and this was definitely taken with a photo reference that had really strong like sunlight on the bird, and that's what helps with that dynamic push. This one is kind of like the lighting's a little more flat, and it doesn't play with the background as much unless it's, you know, like over here in the right corner, but it's not as controlled, and like it's not as sexy shape language as much. You know, over here it just it gets a little bit messy, and I feel like it flattens out the piece more than you want. Then you have a third one here. Wow. I love how you have the combo of the plane with the bird. I just did a kind of a mural like this as well. I feel like these plane parts are out of place somehow. They're kind of just floating right next to each other in a line, diagonal. Alright, so let's try and see what we can do with this one. If we move this up here a bit, maybe even up here. So now we got plain parts like all over the place. And then maybe take this one and bring it over like that. So then we're keeping the momentum of this circle, right? Something like that. Maybe we put this one over here. So this thing is like really exploding, top to bottom. This is before, this is after. Just a quick change of those two elements, I think, helps bring this circular composition into focus, and it helps keep the viewer's eye in the piece. With this one, you know, it kind of comes in like this, and you get stuck here, and then it shoots you off like that, and it just keeps you in the circle like that. Whereas before, you saw it here, and then his gaze is kind of shooting you off this way. But now the bird's gaze gets caught right here on the plane, and it shoots you back. Something to consider. Great job. All right, next up, I'm confused looking for shadow in the light. Please help me with that. We got a nice portrait here, a digital painting. If you want to help with shadow and lights, then I would suggest setting up a light source, like a direct light source on your subject, and that way you have a better understanding of how the shadows and lights hit a face, rather than having this kind of flat lighting. You're not going to get a lot of practice doing shadows and lights if you have this kind of flat lighting. So get a light like this one. Just use your phone or whatever and light yourself like this. Take a photo, do it in different directions underneath, and that way you can get a better understanding of how light works. Alright, next up is Jordan. First thing I notice is the hand is really, really tiny. I'm not quite sure where the other arm is. He looks like a fox or something. I'd love for you to do less clothes until you figure out the anatomy, because if you try and hide anatomy with clothing, or you try and like do clothing before you can figure out where the arms go, then you're gonna put yourself in trouble. So I would make sure to do, studies of just like naked people if you're old enough or whatever. You get a better understanding, and then you can put clothes on top of that structure. Mr. Jesse here. Let's see what he's got. Ooh, cool. Some more stencil work. That's pretty neat. I love the color palette. Really popping, really vibrant. That green as your dark is very interesting. And then the orange with the face really kind of pops it off. I love the dynamic of the work here. I just wish the blue in the background was a little bit more designed. It looks a little like an afterthought, and everything else is so like well executed and thought out. The background seems like it could have used a little bit more oomph, a little more extra flavor. Alright, let's check out the last one for this episode. Alright, this is Rishi Sadhu. Oh, cool. We got a Durga here. Very cool. Some Indian mythology here. Got a bull with what looks like a robotic arm that got ripped off. Hell yeah. Badass. And we got like an Egyptian character here with a skull being ripped in half there. That's cool. I like it. Looks like you're doodling while you're in class with the notes up here. I like it. Keep doodling. And I like your design choices here. The upside down skulls. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Alright guys, that is it for today's critique. Thank you so much for sending in your work. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos, commenting, subscribing, sharing with your friends, and now we can kind of have this interaction. I hope you learned a little bit in the process. If you're interested in any of my work, I have a bunch of work for sale on my website, kipto.com/shop. I got prints for sale. I got original drawings for sale. You can customize your own character and have an original piece by me. Make sure to check out last week's episode where I painted 13 custom characters based on your guys' suggestions from my website. You guys can sign up for my Patreon where we do monthly Q&As where you guys ask me questions. You can pick my brain, take a spoon and scoop out knowledge directly from my brain, have more direct access to me, sharing behind the scenes work, tutorials, real-time videos, or if you just want to support the cause, it's as little as $5 a month. Make sure to subscribe for more critiquing videos along the way. I got a bunch coming through along with some other great videos. I got the character drawings episode 2 coming out soon, so stick around for that. Thanks for watching. Keep feeding that kinetic imagination.